네, 안녕하세요. 예, 박수롱입니다. 예, 오늘은 여기 그 리크루팅 오피스에 와서 스텝 서전 산토스와 함께 이제 퀘션을 물어보는 걸 하겠습니다. While they're preparing for an enlistment process, what are the most challenging part for those people who's preparing for that? Is it the ACFT or APFT, or is it the ASVAB test, or you mentioned height and weight too, right?
Yeah.
What are the most challenging that they're facing when they're going through the process?
Well, right now, our biggest challenges would be the ASVAB.
ASVAB. Okay.
And I say that because majority of the applicants that I've seen come through the door have a hard time passing the ASVAB. So if they can't pass the ASVAB, we can't bring them on to the next requirement, which would be the medical exam. So I would say the biggest challenge would be the ASVAB testing as of right now.
ASVAB test.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. Okay, that's something they got to study their own.
Yeah, and there's nothing that we can do to assist them with that. That would have to be something that they would need to educate themselves on, which would be studying for the ASVAB. They would have to get their own materials, their own study guide, and do their own research in order for them to be able to pass it.
Gotcha. You study for an ASVAB test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there certain areas they have to study for the jobs they want, or it doesn't matter?
In order to pass the ASVAB score consists of only the math and English portion. If you do really, really good on the English and math, you're going to get a really high ASVAB score.
Okay.
However, if you want more job opportunities, your line scores would need to be high as well. That's where all the other subjects of the ASVAB come into play.
Gotcha.
So passing is one thing, but doing good on the other subjects to get more opportunities, more job opportunities, you would need to do good on those as well. Yes. So when it comes to the studying, you're kind of like weighing it. Do you want to focus on studying every single subject, or do you want to study on the math and English to just pass?
Just pass.
Yeah, so we're having a hard time with people just trying to pass. They do really good on all the other subjects, really good. But
math and English,
they're not passing because their math and English is down there.
That's one. Okay, thank you. Next question I have is for the viewers. Is there any Mavni program that's open right now, or is it currently closed? What are the status of those programs? If it's shut down, what are the background information related to that?
Yes, so there was a Mavni program. It was started back in 2008 under the Bush administration. And the main intent for the Mavni program was to be able to enlist legal immigrants that aren't U.S. citizens, that aren't permanent residents. However, they are legally in the United States. However, they need to have like a certain skill set that the military is looking for, either speaking different languages, or they have a special skill. So if they have anything like that, then the military was looking for them.
Okay.
So but in 2018, the Mavni program was put on hold due to some lawsuits against DoD. So as of right now, it is on hold because of the lawsuits, and the reason for the lawsuits was because a lot of these soldiers, they were failing the background investigation. So every year they were having to renew the background check, and whenever they renew the background check, some of the questions there was causing them to fail. One of the questions would be their relation to a foreign country.
Okay.
So these are foreign nationals from another country, so their families and their friends and everything is, they're still affiliated with them in that foreign country. So whenever they, for example, they answer yes, I do have affiliation, I do have family members in foreign countries, they fail the background inspection. So
just putting yes on there.
Yeah, and they have to, because they still have family members, they still have ties over with the foreign country.
Right.
So because they consider to have failed the background check, they are kicked out of the military. So because of those reasons, there was several lawsuits against DoD, and because of those lawsuits and everything that was coming about, they decided to just halt the program indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Okay. Moving on to another subject, right? of course, a lot of times they come in and they want to, enlist, be a soldier. They want to go start from private. But if they want to also become an officer, right?
Yes.
Is there any the route they can become an officer?
Yes. So right now we have there's 3 ways to become an officer. One would be direct commission. In order for you to be eligible for direct commission, your bachelor's degree needs to be something of a critical skill, medical field, or even legal. If you're a lawyer, So those are some of the ways that you can go direct commission.
Okay.
Another route would be the officer candidate school. So with the officer candidate school, one of the requirements is you either have to have the bachelor's degree or the 90 credits or more in order to be eligible for the officer candidate school. And that is so that enlisted soldiers like myself can become an officer, if I wanted to. The third way of becoming an officer would be through the ROTC program, the Reserve Officer Training Corps. Now that one there is, if you are still currently in college, you would need to enroll into the ROTC program and complete all the semesters with them, and then at the end of graduation is when you'll be promoted to an officer.
Okay.
So those are the 3 ways that anyone can become an officer.
OCS also, do they have to go to that different branch?
No.
To ask about that, or can they come
so
here?
with no, they still don't come to us. They enlist into the National Guard as an enlisted member. They go through basic training as an enlisted member. They go through advanced individual training as an enlisted member. When they come back home, however, they would have to go enroll themselves into the OCS program by going to the RTI department, which is the Regional Training Institute.
Yeah.
And from there, depending on when the cycle starts, is when they'll put them on the list. And then they will be doing training with the RTI to prep them for OCS.
And you said they have to score 90.
No, they need to have at least 90 credits or above.
90 credits or above.
Yeah.
That's the minimum requirement.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can go straight through it. Like you said, they go basic and AIT.
Yeah.
And then they can go to that OCS training.
Yeah. Or you could be a current enlisted member in the National Guard.
Yeah.
And, like with me, I didn't finish my bachelor's degree until I was going on my 15th year in the military.
Yeah.
So because I finished my bachelor's degree, I can actually go into OCS now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I have my bachelor's degree now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not it's not always in the beginning. Whenever you have your 90 credits or whenever you complete your bachelor's degree, you can go and enroll yourself into the OCS program. Yes.
Okay. So there's no another special requirement.
You need to be commissioned before the age of 42. As of right now, it's age of 42.
42.
Yeah.
What are when was the time that you felt very proud as a recruiter, and if there's any other times that you feel most challenging as a recruiter? Can you talk about those 2 different perspectives?
Well, the times that I feel most proud, other than when I get to enlist somebody, because I get to see them change their life.
Yeah.
I feel really proud when I'm able to just give advice to somebody and you can see how it affects them in such a positive way. A lot of times we get applicants that come through the door that have a lot of personal situation, whether it be financial or issues with family, and being able to give them advice and then seeing their reaction and knowing that you made that much of a difference to them, even though you weren't able to possibly help them get into the military. It makes me very proud being able to have that kind of that effect on a person, being able to give them advice and seeing how it works out for them.
Okay. That's great. That's awesome.
As far as the challenges goes, I always feel the worst part of being a recruiter is when you have to break the news to somebody that they are unable to join. A lot of times they come through the door, a lot of people that come through the door are, they want to join. They want to get in. They know it's going to be good for them. They know it's going to be good for the family. Unfortunately, something stops them along the way, whether it be any of the disqualifying factors that I mentioned earlier, and then sometimes you do see the defeat in their eyes. You kind of just ruin their day, and that's one of the, to me, it's one of the worst feelings that I ever have, is having to let them know that I'm unable to bring them into the military.
As far as to become a recruiter, any type of MOS can become recruiter?
One of the requirements is your GT score needs to be a 110 or above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's
if
pretty high.
it's pretty high. So once your GT score is 110 and above, and there is a position, and you apply and you get it, then they will send you to SQI4 school, which is the basic non-career recruiters course. That's where you learn the basics of, you know, how to recruit somebody, learning what the eligibility requirements are, you know, things like that. However, you're not technically what we call career recruiter. So you're still holding your old MOS title, recruiting, until you meet the requirements of like your badge upgrades. So after you reach a year and a half is the minimum requirement of you to be actively recruiting successfully before you can convert to the MOS of a recruiter, which is a 79 Tango. Once you convert to 79 Tango, you are now considered a career recruiter.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we have to be certain rank to be 79 Tango?
Minimum rank would be E5.
E5?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to be NCO.
Yeah, you have to be an NCO as a recruiter.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
there are a lot of things that a lot of PII that we need to deal with, things like that, HIPAA laws. So we need people that are seasoned in the military in order for to handle those information, professionally.
Right. Okay. That's great. Thank you. I appreciate that. The personal background process, if they don't remember any, like the 5 years ago, the residence information or people they're affiliated with, if they don't remember some of the information, those personal information related to question, what do they have to do? Can they be blank?
There has to be something to put in. So if the person is unable to remember, we would still need to put in an address. However, in the comment section is where we would put down that the applicant is unable to remember that information, and that we use this address in lieu of, because the person doesn't remember. So that one there goes forward. However, they still need to possibly meet the background investigator. That's where they'll meet them face to face and possibly get faced with that same question.
Okay.
Possibly.
Gotcha. Possibly same question. Let's say, for example, obviously if they travel for their vacation, right? If they go to Korea, Japan, or Australia, whatever. Let's say they visited that country for like 18 times, right? Do they have to remember all those times they visited? If they don't remember certain times they, when they visited that country, just as long as they put a lot of effort to put down the information.
Yes, as long as they show effort and that they are trying to, and they're not trying to hide anything, then I see why not. We still need to put it down. Those are some of the things that we can't decide whether they're disqualified or not.
Gotcha.
When it comes to inputting all that information in. That would be something the background investigator would have to look into.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just enter in the information, it gets sent up the chain. If that person is able to enlist, they enlist, and then from there the background investigator is notified. And then I guess they go through the whole profile and they see some of the the information that's put in there, and if they have any issues with it, that's where they meet with the applicant face to face, and I guess they they get some clarification as to what exactly they were doing, or why did they go back and forth so many times, stuff like that.
Okay, that's great. Now, start from when they come to the door, the recruiting office, to go to the basic training. What is usually how long does it take? The process takes. I mean, I guess it's case by case, but what are the average time?
The average time
to become
from the person walking in through the door to going to basic training, I would say, with us is maybe around 4 to 5 months.
45 months.
Yeah, average.
Average. Okay.
The enlistment process itself can take some time, possibly about a month, depending on it's depending on the applicant mostly, depending on when ASVAB tests are available, depending on medical exam availability, because there's always only a certain amount of slots that we can fill. Once it's filled, we would have to wait for like the next week, and it's just like with the ASVAB, same thing. So average 4 to 5 months.
45 months.
Yeah, and then because also after they enlist, we also have them go into our recruit sustainment program. And that one there, the purpose of that is to have them attend a few of our drills so that we can kind of teach them, some of the basic information that they're going to need to help them when they're out there in basic training, like customs and courtesies, traditions, how to salute, how to march. Then we also go into the FTX portion, where movement as a fire team, as a squad, how to throw grenades, stuff like that. We do things like that with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. If they are permanent resident at a minimum, right? Can they apply for U.S. citizen right away?
No.
No.
They have to wait until after basic training. As far as how long it takes them to receive their naturalization,
Yeah.
I
Just depends on-
yeah, it really just depends.
Okay.
I think they wait until they possibly have enough, or a certain amount.
Okay.
Or they have like a little ceremony for them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So obviously, Army, physical test, right?
Yes.
APFT. We're changing to the ACFT, forthcoming pretty soon. So can you talk about those two different events,
Okay.
those two different programs, and what are the things that they have to prepare to pass those physical tests?
Okay. Well, right now we are still currently under the old system, which is the APFT, the Annual Physical Fitness Test.
Okay.
And with that one there, it's a 2-minute push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. So it's basically just 3 events. And like you said, the ACFT is forthcoming. It was supposed to be this year that it was going to be implemented. However, with everything that's going on right now,
Right.
they pushed it back till next year. With the ACFT, that one there is going to be more related towards deployment tasks, deployment things that you would be seeing yourself doing while deployed. So some of those events are like the sprint drag carry, where you have to drag a sled, you have to do sprints, you have to carry barbells or kettlebells across the line.
Yeah.
There's other things like the ball toss, those are to help you when you're loading like sandbags or loading things up onto a truck. They got the strength deadlift, that one there, for like lifting up a litter carry.
Yeah.
They still have the 2-mile run, because cardio is still a really big part of our physical fitness. And then they also have the leg tuck.
Yeah.
That one there works out a lot of the core.
Army combat.
Army combat fitness test. Yes. How to prepare for it? CrossFit is a full body endurance types of exercises.
Right.
I wouldn't really say like for example, people that go to the gym and lift weights. There's no real endurance there when all they're doing is just lifting heavy weights. Versus the movement, of the ACFT, was required in order for you to successfully pass all the events. I would say like CrossFit would be one of the best gyms to join. We do have the ACFT is coming with ways to improve. So it has what we call like conditioning drill 1, conditioning drill 2, 4 for the core. So it has a lot of exercises that you can possibly do at home to help you improve for the ACFT. And that will come out in the manual when the ACFT is implemented. And that way you can see it, what kind of exercises that you can work on specifically for events. Yeah, so if you want to be successful in the leg tuck, it'll give you a list of exercises you can do that will make you successful in the leg tuck. Just like also the strength deadlift, the sprint drag carry, stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any last advice for the viewers who wants to join the service?
For the viewers, if you want to join the National Guard, I would always say be ready for anything. It's always best to do your own research while you're at home before you walk into the office. That way you kind of know what to expect. There's a lot of materials out there, websites, YouTube videos such as this one here that you can research, and you can kind of get a little understanding of what to expect when you do see a recruiter. And you can also kind of see what to expect when you do begin your military career. So I would say, be ready for anything. Joining the National Guard is a humbling experience. You'll be able to do things you've never thought you'd be able to do. You'll be able to experience things you never thought you'd be able to experience. So it's a very humbling experience to be able to join in the military and serve your country.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. 네, 지금 여기까지 방송했고요. 꼭 좋아요, 구독 눌러주시고요. 감사합니다.